It's a little wobbly, looks like one of those skinny 1970s game show microphones. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. If you are returning, if this is your first time, my name is Mac. In my garage and sitting in between us is this very large automobile. This is Irene, my 1970 Plymouth Custom Suburban station wagon. In the last two videos on the channel, we worked on what I like to call, and nobody else calls them this except for me, cosmetic preliminary projects. These are smaller accessory pieces that I at least wanted to have a notch in my belt and have those done and ready to go when we finish the bigger picture, which is going to be restoring the factory hardboard headliner of this wagon. We have a smaller project that we're going to get into today, another accessory piece. This is going to be the third and final of the cosmetic preliminary mini-series before we tackle the headliner in its entirety. So without further ado and wasting any more of your time than necessary, let's get into this. And we can't forget our trusty flashlight. So this is what we got going on. As per the video title, we're going to be redoing the factory sun visors in this car. The passenger side one is in a lot better shape than the driver's. There's a pretty decent rip that's starting on this side, but both of them have these really sharp low points from where it looks a garage door opener in the same spot for probably years and years, and it's just worn into the foam and the padding of these. But with that being said, I did find a really clean set from the junkyard, and we're still going to have to do some maintenance to them. So let's pull those out and I'll walk you through what we're going to have to do to them. Okay, here is the pair of sun visors that I picked up from the junkyard. These were out of another wagon with actually green interior as well. I guess technically only redoing the one. I finished the other one. This one had less wear and tear on it than the other one did. As you can see, all of the seams are in really nice shape. There's no general waviness or warping if you look down the side. There is a small depression on the back side. I thought about maybe using a heat gun and putting some cotton or some batting up underneath that to try to stretch it and make it more level. But this doesn't worry me as much as the other ones do that are on the sun visors that currently sit within the vehicle. And so in this video, I'm going to be walking through the process of how we're going to be redoing this sun visor, fading and cracking up at the top where the material has to be stretched around the swivel rod, pretty decent little gouge down here at the bottom where the seam wraps around. So we've got some filler and we're going to sand and finally apply color. And at least cleaning this, and that way it'll make sure that the paint has a better adhesion to the material. This water off, and we'll go and we will grab the filler and start to fill in these cracks. And it also has a small piece of sandpaper after it cures to be able to sand away any of the excess, and what looks to be just a small little spoon or a little ladle that's in there to be able to apply and to spread the material out to one's desire. Now what we'll do is we will apply this generously to the areas affected. So it's been about 5 or 6 minutes now, but I think I've gotten it to where I'm pretty satisfied with it. Some of which I was able to use just a small amount of filler and not leave a whole bunch of excess for me to sand, and the other worse areas are definitely going to need some attention. Also, I've put a rubber band around this lower portion here. We've packed it full of the material. It's rubber banded to keep it down, and that way hopefully it stays down when we remove it and the material cures fully. It doesn't feel as tacky. We'll come back to it, and then we will hit it with our sandpaper and get it ready for color. And it feels smooth. It doesn't feel tacky at all anymore. And then also moving the rubber band around where we filled in this really deep hole that was in the seam here that the material has laid down and dried with the filler, some sandpaper, and that should be fine there. And the areas where I kind of had to mold in the general shape around these much deeper cracks at the very end of the material. It's not perfect at all, but we've got it to where it was pretty smooth. And again, this is the part of the sun visor that you're not really going to see, so it doesn't concern me too much. I at least just wanted to do some type of repair to it. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to tape off the ends of the swivel rod, and then we will take it into our patio and we will shoot it with color. This is the color that we've got. This is 434 dark metallic green. Got a couple cans of this stuff. And this is the color that we have shot the other clips for the shoulder belt and will be for all the other pieces that we end up getting done. Let this dry and probably have to apply some more coats just because that filler. So we apply a couple of coats, let it dry, apply another coat, let it dry, apply another coat, let it dry, and it should cover that up. And this is going to be the third and final coat that I'm going to put on. Now time to just let that dry and set up. So this paint dries pretty fast. Not getting anything on my fingers. And then we'll undo the masking tape and we'll just use some Q-tips and some brake cleaner to undo the paint that I've painted over these chrome clasps here. Overall, it's got some slight uneasiness to it. You can see where there's more rough areas and some smooth areas. As you can see the top side. The filler has removed any of the grain from the vinyl, and even after the sandpaper, it's just a lot smoother. It looks very, very good. I don't have any of that texture in a can. I would imagine that you could just spritz that over the top of this and then apply color after that sets up, just to maybe try to match the vinyl grain a little bit more. But I don't have that in my arsenal, and I'm pleased with this as is. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead, get this back into the garage, we'll undo the masking tape, clean up the chrome, and that should do it for that sun visor. Here they are. Oh, actually, you know what? I just got these in the mail. Here are the actual sun visor little rubber tips that go on the ends. Just pop onto the end. And that is it. Sun visors are complete. Oh, it's not that the pieces themselves weigh a ton, it's just the packaging. Oh yeah. It's gonna go good with this. Yeah, how about that? So, stay tuned for the next video.